Oh!
Well,
What were you saying about Frank Miller?
Frank Miller, he wrote Batman Year One. He wrote Dark Knight Returns, and he wrote one of the most successful Daredevil comic runs ever. But he also wrote All-Star Batman. Actually, it's called All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And it's really bad. Also, Dark Knight Returns 2 is bad. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, there's a line in it where Batman is he's like, I figured it out, Clark. That's right. I know your actual name is Clark Kent. I figured out your secret identity. It's like, okay, Superman has X-ray vision, and Bruce Wayne is extremely recognizable because he's like the Elon Musk of their world. So you mean to tell me Superman doesn't know Bruce Wayne's secret identity? He doesn't know Bruce Wayne's Batman? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Frank Miller, you're dumb. All these stories, people always try to write these stupid ass stories where Batman beats Superman. But you know, in the other Frank Miller story, A Dark Knight Returns, it's pretty much what Batman or Superman used, 100%. I mean, you saw the animated movie. It's very accurate. It's pretty much the same fight from that movie, except in the comic and in the animated movie, Batman actually loses the fight because even with a weakened Superman and Batman in a mech and with shooting him with kryptonite and shit, Batman still can't beat Superman, which is the way it kind of should be.
Yeah.
But
that's part of his plan.
Yeah, Batman. See, now if you want to give Batman a master plan, yeah, make his plan Batman going all fucking out. That's his like ultimate attack, and then faking his death. That's a good way to write Batman. That's an awesome way to write Batman because it's like, okay, I know I can't beat Superman.
The ending,
but I'm gonna be as convincing as fucking possible. Yeah, the ending's amazing.
Where Superman's just standing over his grave and he hears a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and he just kind of
I'm gonna let this slide. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's one of the best like comic book endings ever.
And is it Reagan who wants him dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Reagan was like the president and he was controlling Superman and blah blah blah. Which I disagree that Superman would ever be a puppet for the U.S. government.
Yeah.
I feel like if the U.S. government, funnily
I don't think Superman would kill Batman.
No. Especially not on behalf of the U.S. government.
Yeah.
But if Lex Luthor did become president at one point, so if Lex Luthor was president, Superman might fight against the president. It's...
Superman's like Captain America. He doesn't...
Yeah, he's not just going to follow...
He fights against corruption and evil.
I think it's because, I think what comic book writers do is they use Superman and Captain America as symbols of the establishment and the government and stuff. And I understand it to an extent, but it doesn't really go with their actual character's history usually.
Yeah.
So that comic's dumb. Frank Miller lost his touch after a while. It's kind of stupid. And then in a Watchmen Watchmen Rorschach comic,
yeah,
which is written by people who have nothing to do with the original Watchmen, they made Rorschach meet Frank Miller, who had nothing to do with Watchmen. He did not write that story. He was inspired by a Watchman. So to have Rorschach meet Frank Miller and go, wow, you're one of the greats. It's like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
First of all, Rorschach was written to be literally a Trump supporter. He's literally an
incel.
He's a Republican who is very, very homophobic and very, very this is the way things should be. The whole point of why his mask is black and white is not just because of the Rorschach test. It's also because that is his morality. He does not have gray areas. He hates his mom because his mom's a prostitute. You could argue his mom did what she had to do to get money and put food on the table. He hates his mom. You know what I'm saying? That's Rorschach.
Yeah.
Rorschach thinks, if you are a criminal, I have the right to kill you because you're a piece of shit and you deserve to die.
Yeah.
And see, that is an interesting... when I was 14, that was interesting to think about. I would think about it, and at first I would agree with them, and then I would go back and forth. Now as an adult, I'm just no, I just probably agree with Night Owl, who's just what's going on?
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
I'm going to have sex with this woman.
I don't know who my favorite character... I mean, I think I'm more interested by Dr. Manhattan and Ozymandias than I am by Rorschach and Night Owl now that I'm older, but...
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's still a great story. I mean, Rorschach really does a lot for the plot, and that scene when he's in jail is fucking brilliant. I love all that stuff.
That's one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Oh yeah, in the movie where Well, I think it's right out of the comic too, where like the door's closing back and forth. And you can like you're trying to make out what's going on.
And he's just like beating
But
the shit out of people.
In the comic, he's like stabbing people and shocking them and like beating them. And in the movie, he like a guy gets his hands cut off by a chainsaw and he like burns their face with the fry. Like the movie takes all those same scenes and makes it way more fucking violent than the comic. And that's one of the parts where
he throws like a hot oil on him, like fry oil.
What's the director? Snyder. That's what he got right.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna slightly modernize the action scenes to make them a little bit more grotesque, so that way, you know, it's not the same and it's cool. But then he fucked up other scenes because they'll have like Silk Spectre punch a guy's arm and his bones will start flying out. It's like, okay, they don't have super strength. None of them have super strength.
Yeah.
All of them are normal humans who just like work out, except Dr. Manhattan. That's the point. If they all have super strength, then this is stupid. So.
Yeah. I do like Dr. Manhattan, how he's like, how all the humans want him to intervene and fix everything. He's like, not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm a god.
Yeah. It's another story that's like, it's another thing that's really interesting to think about, especially when you're like in high school and stuff, which is when I read it for the first time. It's a great story for
like,
young. Like people always say, like, Alan Moore made comics for adult men, and it's like, no, he didn't. Watchmen's really made for like high schoolers who are like feeling like empathy for other humans for the first time ever. They have a lot of new thoughts, and it's a little bit more complex, so that way younger teens can handle it. Older teens can handle it. It's made for older teens, which is fine.
He's like...
But Alan Moore says comics are not for children. Or he says comics are not for adults. Yeah. He makes fun of like adults who read comics, which is me, but that's neither here nor there.
He's like, I've lived through every moment and second in time.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
I don't care about anything.
Because he exists in everything at once.
He's seen everything. And he can relive his moments like anytime, basically.
Yeah.
So he feels nothing.
Because he's there.
Yeah. He's a cool character.
Yeah. He is a very cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Very cool.
Anyway, here we are. Wasteland Podcast.
Yeah, it's just, Jeremiah is here. He just has really bad diarrhea. And if he talks, he'll poop.
Jeremiah couldn't make it again. That's okay.
Yeah, that's alright. He's working.
What are you going to tell me about the NFL?
The first openly gay boy in the NFL.
I was shocked. I literally said, like, what? Like, I thought there was other gay football players at this point, but maybe there are, and they just didn't say it. But
yeah,
but
he's the first one to come out.
That's weird. It's not weird that he's gay. It's weird that this is the first one, because I feel like it would have been earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But that is cool. I understand that pussy man, biggest pussy of all time, biggest bitch baby boy, has to have his diaper changed by his dad, Steven Crowder. I understand he's upset about it.
Yeah.
I understand Jewish femboy has born to a very rich family, which is why he hates gay people and poor people. Not because he's religious, because that's not why. It's because he was born to a super wealthy family. That's why he's Republican, Ben Shapiro. Yeah. He also hates this story.
Yeah.
And they're both very gay.
He hates that...
Both those men are gay.
Yeah. They both hate that there's a gay man in the NFL because it's pushing politics into the NFL.
But it's
Even though the guy who came out was like, I really don't want to have to say this, and I don't think people should have to come out anymore.
It's fucked up that it's considered being political just by stating that you're gay, because it's like, that's how you live your life.
Have you obviously you haven't watched his coming out video, but
no, I haven't watched it.
He's a Republican, or at least he used to be.
Yeah.
At one point, because I mean he plays for the Raiders. He's an NFL.
All Raiders are Republicans.
I don't know.
I'm just joking.
But I don't know anything else about him other than he's gay and he plays for the Raiders. But in his video, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't really want to do this. I'm kind of a private person, but just kind of felt it was necessary." And he's like, "One day in the future, I hope coming out videos aren't necessary."
Right.
But this is where we are.
Yeah, I mean,
and they just ended it.
the fact that
And he wasn't. It wasn't like a big what
Right.
what Republicans think gay people are, like all flamboyant and shit. He was just like, hey
well, he's
guys,
a football player. Yeah,
yeah,
he's not
he's
like a finboy.
he's
not
just
a
like
twink.
I
He's a
know,
football player.
I know. He's like, hey guys, just thought you.
Hey guys, it's my first time.
Yeah, he's like, I just thought I should tell y'all that I'm gay, and that's it.
Well, like, okay, if I was gay and in the like NFL, I would. If I was like, wait, no one has came out yet, not a single one. I'm gonna be the first one to do it.
Yeah.
I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because it needs to be done. First of all, it needs to be done. But second of all, you get to be the first gay guy.
And what's really cool is I think he donated $100,000 to some like gay charity thing,
Yeah, that's cool.
and the NFL matched it.
Oh, okay,
So the NFL also donated $100,000,
that's cool.
and the Raiders are super supportive. I don't know about the individual players, but a lot of them have come out and been like, "Yeah, that's cool," which is all you really need to say.
Yeah, that's it's a very fine, wholesome story. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong about like this is just
You don't need to go over the top. You just be like, "Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that he came out." And
Was it Tyler Creator has this quote where when Frank Ocean came out as bi, Tyler Creator is also bi.
is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He said something like, he was like, I knew something was wrong with him because he always ate like Pop-Tarts without frosting on. He said something like that. He's like, I knew something was wrong with him because he ate food weird. That's why I knew he was bi.
That's such a Tyler the Creator.
I love that.
That's
a great
awesome.
quote. That was a while ago.
That's hilarious.
But then
But
later
yeah.
on he came out as bi too because I think he just was like he just said it. I don't know. It was literally in a song. He didn't like come out and make a big deal about it. He just like put it in a song. And people were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And the song wasn't like gay. I just realized. No, the song. He said like I've been kissing white boys since 2004, something like that. And like he keeps referencing it. He like in the newest album, Call Me When You Get Lost. He's like talking about his older songs because he used to say like a lot of offensive words, including homophobic slurs, which I think people are like, yeah, he's gay, so I guess it's fine. He's bi. Yeah, I guess it's fine. But also, he doesn't say them now in the new songs. But anyway, he has a song where he's directly talking about how people will talk about how he used to say those words. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's fine. I don't care. And he talks about in that song, he's like, you guys are talking about back when I was trying to fuck Justin Bieber. And it's like, it's such a funny line to bring up fucking Justin Bieber. They hung out. They would play Xbox Live together.
That's hilarious.
Selena Gomez hated him.
That's so funny.
He was trying to get in it.
Yeah.
He's trying to get it.
Yeah.
Trying to get that bussy.
That bussy.
That Bieber bussy.
Oh my god.
That's what he was trying to get.
I just think back to that time I told Leland to get some bussy. I can't believe I said.
I think that's a hate crime.
I don't
might
know
be
why
a-
I said that.
Go get some bussy.
Go get some bussy.
Luckily, Leland knows you, and it's fine. Leland's the kind of guy who would laugh at that. So
I don't know why I said that. I wouldn't say to you, go get some pussy.
I mean,
I just wanted to say bussy.
okay. But if you said it like seriously, I would be like, what? But if you were like doing like a surf's up thing with your hand, or maybe devil horns, and you said, yeah, bruh, like, and then say, go get some pussy, then I would probably laugh. But if you were being like serious, then I'd be like, all right.
I was like, yeah, go get some bussy.
It's just weird.
I know. I don't know why I did
Weird.
that.
You don't have to bring it there.
In San Fran,
Yeah.
we went to Ghirardelli's real late.
Got some pussy.
Yeah, we got some pussy. But right when we got there, they like closed off the line, and this guy, we're like, "Come on, let's get in line," and he let us in line, and we were the last people to get in. And then walking away, I was like, "Man, I really hope that guy gets laid." I was like, "I hope that guy gets laid tonight." And Trevor and Kelsey thought that was really funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if someone does something nice for you, then it's good to wish them good fortune.
Yeah, but they had never heard that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird thing to say.
You've never what?
I've heard people say it.
Yeah.
I've said it myself before.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you deserve to get laid tonight for that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I was saying.
But,
I just
yeah,
thought it was
I
funny.
mean, it is something that I wouldn't always say around certain people, and especially not to strangers or in public and stuff like that.
I didn't say it to him.
Yeah, you just said it to
Trevor and Kelsey. Yeah.
Well,
they thought it was funny.
Probably caught them off guard, I guess.
Yeah.
Hope that guy gets laid tonight. Sometimes you have to remember that, you know, we're not supposed to talk about sexual things at work and stuff, you know.
But we were on vacation.
I know, it doesn't matter. Well, you know your company, you know who you're with.
Yeah.
It's literally fine. But it's just one of those things where people don't normally talk about that stuff. But like at work, you know, between like everyone we know, like we're the boundary is kind of like pushed back a little bit further than what it would be for most people.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but as long as you respect that, as long as you don't
Well,
go
it was
around
like
asking people certain personal questions. But
I knew Trevor would find it funny, and I was like, Kelsey would probably find it funny too. So
Jesse pretty much finds everything funny.
Yeah. So
It's very that's what I'm saying. Like with the people we work with, it's really hard to offend them. I mean,
Yeah.
when we had Kristen on, that very first episode we had her on, she immediately started talking about like that woman who fucks dogs and stuff. Like it didn't take long before we got to the weird shit. So
yeah.
But
Whitney, Wisconsin.
Whitney, Wisconsin. That's her name.
I don't think. Did she bring it up? Was Kristen the one who brought it up?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check the footage. It's one of the first episodes. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the first guests.
Yeah, she was.
I can't remember who our very first guest was though.
It was.
I don't remember.
It's probably Joey.
I don't think it was Joey.
It's probably. Oh, it was Jeremiah.
After Jeremiah. Jeremiah's on episode 0, I know.
Yeah.
After Jeremiah. I'm talking about Jeremiah's our guest on every episode.
I don't. I. Was it James?
It might have been James. It might have actually been Kristen. It might have been James or Kristen. James, it might have actually been James because he was on really early.
Yeah.
That was one of the great episodes where we were talking about Jimmy Neutron and
No, it was before that.
copy pastas and
It was way before that.
talking about creepy pastas and Dead Bart.
It was way before that.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. We're moving on. Gay football players.
Gay.
But Ben Shapiro is gay for sure. 100%.
He's a bottom.
He's a bottom. Like his wife pegs him. Like,
Yeah.
which is nothing wrong with that. But if you're gonna be anti-gay, then you at least need to admit that.
And oh my god, all the shit he said.
Or
about,
if you say like, women need to be feminine and men need to be masculine. That's what I'm gonna hire Gina. What's her fucking face? Because she's a super buff chick who plays a masculine fucking token character just that only exists to make feminists happy. I'm gonna hire her to play a feminine housewife character.
But
I don't know what he thinks he's gonna have her for, because he can't have her as like hired muscle in the movie.
Yeah.
Because then that is
Makes
acknowledging that women can do that,
I know.
which he doesn't acknowledge.
He's gonna put her in like a sundress and be.
Once it's all tatted up and fucking bulging muscles.
I know. I don't know why.
He's gonna be like, strangely, Gina kind of turns me on.
He
I
only
can't explain it.
He only hired her because she got fired from Disney.
Gina, can you hold me in your arms? And I want to see how that feels. Like, oh, wow, I feel so safe and secure. I had no idea.
He only hired her because she got fired from Disney.
Do you think Republicans let the girl be the big spoon?
Yeah.
You think Republicans let girls be the big spoon?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think Republicans, masculine, Ben Shapiro.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think Ben Shapiro is like, no, I'm the big spoon at all times.
Yeah.
Do you think
There's nothing wrong with being the little spoon.
No, it's great. It literally feels better. But like, that's the cross we men bear. Is we're the ones who give women the little spoon privileges most of the time.
Cross we bear.
Yeah.
No, I bet Ben Shapiro and his wife sleep in separate beds.
That's a good point. He didn't know.
With
he
the what's that thing from?
Wet-ass pussy. He was like, "What is this? What are you talking about? Wet-ass pussy?
What's sex?"
Wait a minute. Men are doing what with women? Me and my wife never did that.
What's
She
that
does that
thing
with the
from
neighbor down the
Moral
street.
Oral
Moral
that
Oral.
separates them?
It's like the anti. Oh man, it's something to do with like anti-lust or something. But it's not called anti. It's just called like the pray innate, something like that.
Yeah.
It's this big solid thing.
It's like purity or something.
Yeah, purity.
It's just like this huge sheet of metal.
Yeah, it's this big fucking. It looks like
a screen. It's like it's a screen or something.
Yeah, it's just like a giant wall in between the two sides of the bed, so that way they can't touch
That's
each other.
how Ben and his wife sleep.
Yeah. He's a Jew for Jesus.
Ben's a fucking cuck.
Ben's a cuck. He's a cuck in every sense of the word.
Dude, what if Crowder's wife? What if his child wasn't Crowder's?
If Crowder's wife had an affair and Crowder
with like a big old buff black dude.
I don't know. Crowder would kill himself. I don't know.
That'd be so funny.
If Crowder's kid isn't his. Well, apparently they're having twins.
Oh God.
Because they did the same thing that H3 did, where they would take hormones while trying to get pregnant, because they're like too old to have their spermies come out correctly, or maybe it has something to do with the woman too. I don't fucking know. I just know like once you're past like 28 or something, it's harder to get people pregnant.
Sometimes it, yeah, I don't know.
It's something to do with like it's harder. It fucks shit up. And I also know the older you are, the more likely there to be like more problems and defects and stuff.
Yeah.
So they are using like hormone treatments because that way, but they believe in that, but they don't believe in the hormone therapy where you transition. But we should talk about the Olympic person.
I don't know.
I really don't know anything about the story other than the way the Olympics works is that you cannot compete if you're trans unless it's been like over a year on the hormone therapy. You literally cannot say I identify as a woman, therefore I can compete. That's literally not how it works.
Yeah.
And Republicans will say, "Oh, if you tell people who identify as women they can't do this, then no." The Olympics has rules, and the rules are if you want to compete in the women's division, you have to have undergone hormone therapy for like over a year. And the reason why
at that point you'll have the same testosterone and estrogen levels.
At that point, you're pretty much balanced out to be the same as all women. So
yeah,
it's like at that point, there's whatever advantage you might think you have, you don't have. And the funny thing is that there are trans people who have tried to compete, and this woman is the first one who ever actually made the cut. Because we're talking about women who are trained athletes who work really hard to be in the fucking Olympics, right? So this is not like these aren't slouch women. These are women who are like buffer than we are. Like this is,
like what's her Simone, the gymnast Simone. All I know is Simone.
Yeah.
But if you see, she's fucking jacked.
Yeah.
She's huge.
A lot of
she could jerk me off.
It depends. I feel like I don't know if big muscles would help that or not.
I don't know.
What if you want the tender touch? You want to rip the foreskin, and luckily our daddy taught us.
My daddy taught me how to stop.
How to not rip the foreskin using my mouth.
Want me to show you?
How did the dad show? I mean, were they sexually assaulted or not? I need to know the answers. That doesn't make any sense. Like my daddy taught me to use my mouth so I won't rip the skin when I'm using my dick. Like that makes no sense.
So either the dad sucked his dick or he sucked his dad's dick.
Anyway, if you're it depends on like what sport you're competing in, obviously. But yeah, like a lot of women who are in the Olympics are
fucking jacked.
They can probably beat up anyone. Like
they could definitely beat up Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro at the same time.
They're more masculine than both of them combined.
I know.
Crowder is literally, at least Ben Shapiro hides behind the idea of being a little wimpy brainiac guy. He doesn't pretend to be a muscular dude, but Crowder literally pretends to be a buff guy, and he wears shirts to try to make him look shredded on purpose. And then when you see him in like a normal photo, he wears the gun holsters, man. Then when you see him in a normal photo, he like looks like super schmucky.
Yeah.
You're like, ugh, Crowder. What the hell are you doing, dude? Just stop pretending.
He has a weak chin.
If you quit, he has a super big beard to hide his chin. If you quit pretending, it wouldn't be so cringy.
Leafy using his mic.
It's because what they do, Republican people, like, because Leafy is very Republican. In case you guys don't know, you can say he's trolling, but he's not. I know the truth. Mm-hmm. Same with Keemstar. They're both very conservative. Anyway, what they do is they make fun of people's, like, I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why this is a thing with conservatives, other than I could just simply say conservatives are stupid. But I actually don't know why they always go for making fun of people's looks.
Yeah.
I actually don't get why they go for that.
Because they have nothing else.
I know, but they could at least make fun of their like policy ideas. Like,
because their own policies are fucking retarded.
I know, but the one joke they usually go for is, gender much? Happy non-gender day. Yeah, none of us have genders anymore because the left. Like, it's every single joke they do.
Yeah, or I identify as an Apache attack helicopter.
I identify as an attack helicopter. And it's like...
I heard that one before.
It's like, dude, that joke's been going around since, like, 2011, bro. Yeah.
I know, get
off 4chan.
Come on.
We were all on 4chan back then.
We all
Crowder's
get it. We get it.
Crowder's repeating jokes he heard in like college and high school and shit.
I know, and then he's
like 30 now.
And then he'll just be like, "Oh, black people are fucking scary."
Like, black
Why'd
people.
I get banned off YouTube?
He's trying to say black people do meth or something. I was like, it's like white people are famously known. I'm not saying black people don't, but it's like white people are famously known for doing meth.
I know. When you think of a meth head, you think of like a white biker dude.
The crack joke was right there.
I know.
The CIA gave black people crack. It's right there. Just make the crack joke. Why'd you go for meth? I think he made the meth joke because he knew white people are associated with meth, and he wants to start associating black people with meth instead. And say, no, white people do drugs.
Yeah, that honestly makes sense. Because the joke was like, they're talking about black farmers getting more money from the government.
Yeah.
Because black farmers have been treated horribly.
He denies systemic racism, but yeah, systemic racism has kept black people oppressed, especially
farmers. Black farmers.
Especially any economic thing that black people have ever tried to do.
Yeah.
We just ruin it for fun, basically.
Right. But black farmers have been treated horribly, and he's trying to deny this. He's like, oh, we came out and tested the soil, and looks like there's a high content of meth in the soil.
Yeah, the joke makes no sense.
I know.
It's the same thing.
And then he pulls up a picture of two... And here's what the farmers look like.
Yeah, and they're like rappery, ghetto-y looking guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that they were like ghetto-y looking. It's that they looked like bug-eyed and like really like they looked like the old cartoon stereotype making.
Like Jim Crow era.
It was just like, whoa, dude.
How? And then he's like, "Why did I get demonetized? YouTube's trying to YouTube's trying to censor the right."
I was trying to suck the nipple to get the milkies, and then I got censored by YouTube, and I pooped my pants. And I said, "Daddy, why'd I get censored?" And I said, "Son, did you imitate George Floyd being killed by the police?" "Yeah, Daddy, but it was a joke, Papa." No, son. Stop. No, son. You can't do that. But why, Papa? Why, Daddy? Well, you see, son, you're making fun of a man's tragic death. It's really insensitive and tasteless.
It's because I'm right-winged, isn't it, Daddy?
Daddy, do you hate me because I'm Republican?
Yes.
I hate what the Republican Party has become.
Back in the...
Which is people listening to you, son.
No, let me do your booking.
Let me do your booking. This H3 guy sounds nice. Hope Sam Cedar doesn't appear here. Hope Sam Cedar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was telling you at work, Sam Cedar's got a new debate with a libertarian dude. He said he wasn't like a normal libertarian, but every libertarian... If you ever meet any libertarian, they're always like, let me list my caveats because libertarianism makes no sense. So let me explain my personal explanation for how this could possibly work. Then you listen to them and you say, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That could never work. That guy did that too. He was like, let me just list why I'm different from a normal libertarian. And then Cedar just kind of was like...
ripped him apart.
He was like, do you think that doctors should be allowed to give people drugs that kills them? And he's like, yes, I do. And he's like, what about this apartment building where everyone who lived in it died? And he's like, that's their fault.
How?
Yeah. Like children
That
lived
makes
there and
no
died.
sense.
Literally,
How is it
children
their
died
fault?
in that incident. It's like
They trusted in the
they trust.
company.
Yes, they trust. Well, first of all, okay, when I bought this apartment, I looked at like 2 other places and then bought this one. And you only have so many fucking options. And when it comes to price range, this one was also like one of the cheaper ones. So it's like I was looking for something that was not a fucking rundown piece of shit and also was cheap.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking
which is
for.
hard.
And so, like, you, in your area, especially if you want to live somewhere close to where you work or something, you only have so many fucking options for openings and stuff. You know, and an opening could go away at any moment, too.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a place to live. You know, you can't really sleep on it and wait. You can't really, especially because if you are trying to move from one place to another, if you live with your parents, that's one thing. If you're trying to move from one place to another, you have a lease. And if you don't leave, then you need to like buy another year
Or
contract.
renew, yeah.
You have to be there for like you can't just like renew your lease for like 2 months or something while you look more. You know, most landlords are like, no, you're gonna have to pay for a whole nother year. You know, so it's like you got the idea. Like there is no market where for people to buy. We need regulations to force like landlords to keep things up to snuff so that way everything's fine. Like, you know.
Which was that building not kept up to regulations? Is that why it fell?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah. It was like a cheap job that they skipped out a few things on, and then everyone died in it.
Was this the same guy who went on Joe Rogan and was like that?
No.
The same shit?
No, that was Dave Rubin.
Oh, that's Dave Rubin. Yeah.
No. Dave Rubin will never talk to Sam Cedar because Sam Cedar has a whole playlist on YouTube called Dave Rubin Being Dumb, and it's just great videos throughout the years of him making fun of Dave Rubin. Because he'll call Crowder a coward, but he'll call Dave Rubin a brainless moron. Like and Rubin really is. Not only is Rubin a sellout who used to be on the Young Turks and completely switched sides politically, but he is owned by the Koch brothers and stuff. But so is Crowder. But at least Crowder never flip-flopped.
Yeah.
But Rubin literally can't explain his way out of a paper bag. Like, and it's often Republican colleagues of his will make fun of him to his face because he's so stupid. It's amazing that Dave Rubin even exists, honestly. Like, he had his own show in, like, the studio that, what's his face? I don't remember his name. Not David Letterman, but the other old man with glasses. What's his fucking name?
I know what you're talking about.
Shit.
He just died, didn't he?
Yeah, he died not that long ago.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Larry King.
Larry King used to do Larry King Live and stuff, but then he had a YouTube show on a YouTube studio where he would interview. He has a great interview with Eric Andre and a great interview with Tyler Creator and other people who are like
Larry King does?
Yeah, but these are on YouTube. These are not on TV.
Yeah.
And that same YouTube space, Dave Rubin took over once Larry King left.
Oh my.
And it's like, how did this even happen? Because Dave Rubin is a fucking moron.
Yeah.
But Dave Rubin was coming off of the Young Turks, and he's like, I'm still going to be left. But, you see, the Young Turks got mad at him because Dave Rubin hates Muslims, and he thinks he should be able to hate Muslims. So he left so he could hate Muslims still, and because some people who are left-leaning hate Muslims, and he's one of them. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a loosey-goosey show. I'm gonna do it like Joe Rogan, where I'm gonna have people on the left on, people on the right on. I'm gonna let them talk, and we'll see who's right and stuff, you know. And what happened is, anytime he'd have any guest on, whether it be left or right, they pretty much walk all over him, and he can't stop them, and they'll just say lies, and he'll just let them lie. And he'd be like, but what about this? And it's like the worst counter argument ever. And they just destroy him, and he looks like a buffoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I'm becoming Republican. And it's like, what? Because you're letting people lie on your show, and you can't fact check them that you're becoming Republican? Like, it's fucking dumb. And he's like, he has this famous tweet that everyone made fun of him for, where he's like, I'm not for abortion, but Democrats are acting so crazy, I might become pro-life. And it's like,
what?
or he's like, I am in favor of abortion, but Democrats act so crazy that I want to become for life, like pro-life. Like, he just doesn't like Democrats, so for that reason, he's going to stop supporting abortion. Like, it's like, can you make it any more obvious that the Koch brothers are funding you and telling you what to say? Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
Like, his arguments are so fucking bad. And his arguments are usually blanket statements that the left has gone crazy. It's usually what his arguments are. Because people love this the story of a guy who used to be Republican, or used to be Democrat, now he's Republican, or used to be Republican, now he becomes Democrat.
Yeah.
My friend was telling me that the Bible was a literal history book. And I said, well, yeah, if you believe in God, yeah. Like, if you believe that's a history book, but it's not verified, like, none of it, we don't know if any of it actually happened. I mean, possibly some of it could have happened, but, like, we literally don't know if any of it happened, because it's not verified outside the Bible. It's only verified in the Bible.
So many people have written over it.
Well, yeah, and
changed it.
At this point, the Bible's been edited so many times. It's Wikipedia articles have been edited less times than the Bible. So
right.
But then they were like, no, there's a guy who proved it. And I was like, I don't think you're right, because this would be like a national news story and things would be taught in school if a guy proved it. So I think you're wrong. I think a guy didn't prove it. And then they told me, well, if you're going to be biased, you're not going to believe me. But if you actually do the research, it shows that the Bible is verified. So I didn't read the book. I didn't watch the movie. But I read a lot about the author and what his arguments were. And his story was, I used to be an atheist, and I wanted to prove, without a doubt, that atheism was the way, and God was not real.
I think I've...
Yeah. And in my studies, I have discovered that the evidence that the Bible actually happened is so, like, it's so obvious that the Bible really happened. But then when you read the book, it literally says that. It literally never says why. He'll just say, at this point, it's become obvious to me that this is all real. And it's like, but you never said why. He literally doesn't list any evidence at all as to why it's real. He just says, I used to think this, but now I think this. It's like, that's not... Just because that atheist used to... First of all, who gives a fuck?
He probably wasn't even an atheist.
Exactly. Anyone can say that. Anyone can say that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He may have been... I don't know, but he may have just not been that religious or something, but I highly doubt it, you know.
And your friend saying, well, if you're going to be biased, it's like...
Yeah, it's like... And it's like, no.
Also being...
Read critically what he's saying. And the reviews for his book would literally say stuff like, this is good if you're already Christian and you want to hear preaching to the choir, but this is probably not going to convince a single person who's not religious that Christianity is real. But the thing is that what they did say is that book was a great collection of Christian historians explaining connections of things. Basically, if you're into people who like Christian historians, it's like a great collection of their stories. But it has nothing to do with proving the Bible. It has all to do with like actual history of people trying to discover things. And like if you care about that, he interviews a lot of people, but if you don't care about that, it's like it should exist for that reason. But all of his biased narrative shit is bullshit. Like if you took,
it'd be cool to read about historians.
Yeah.
Finding all this
trying
stuff.
To discover things, yeah. But
that's funny that your friend was.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to.
Do your own research.
I was trying to explain, like, that's just not. Me and her never argue about politics ever. We pretty much are like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I mean, I have lots of friends who are religious, and it's funny that on this podcast we talk about religion so much because so many of my friends are religious. I really don't care, but whenever like they do bring it up, like in this one instance, she really was arguing with me, and I was like, that's not how it works. You can't just say he used to be atheist. You have to actually list the evidence. So,
right.
So I was just like, yeah. But the thing is that like, I read one review by a guy who was like a skeptical person. And then I read a review by a guy who was actually a Christian, who said the same thing, that this isn't going to convince non-Christians. And he ended his review with saying like, we don't need to focus on changing everyone's minds. We just need to focus on declaring our right to exist in the first place. Like our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech. We shouldn't be focusing on, trying to get everyone on board, because you either have faith or you don't. That's literally the whole point, is you either believe it or you don't. So,
but again,
and you can't change what someone believes. Like,
what does it mean we have to fight for it? They have like all the freedom you need. Yeah. At least in America. Yeah. And in most other countries. It's more like
pretty much anywhere that Christianity is popular, they have their rights.
Yeah.
You can't be Christian.
They actually probably have more rights, and
in a Muslim theocracy,
looked upon
you don't
better.
Have. In a Muslim theocracy, in like certain third world countries, maybe you can't be Christian, but like you also wouldn't have been born and raised by going to church, so you probably would you'd probably just be Muslim anyway. Yeah. You wouldn't really believe in it. So unless you want to move to Saudi Arabia, but who the fuck? Yeah. What white Christian's gonna move to Saudi Arabia?
In America, they act like they're some Christians act like that Christianity's under attack and is being censored by the government, and like the government's trying to take away Christianity, but that's not true at all. The entire government's Christian. Yeah. I mean,
if anything, we're just not getting balanced out to where we have equal religious
and that's freedom. Why the Christians are saying that. Yeah. Because they don't like that anymore. I mean, Fox News always says that.
It's the Republicans. The Republicans, they use Christianity to get leverage. Because they know that if they invoke God, then people will feel more compelled to go right leaning. And then if you agree with Republicans on some things, it makes you start going, well, you know what? Actually, I kind of agree with Republicans on everything. So yeah, it's a tactic, and that's why the left has to reclaim. For a while, people were like, fuck Christians and fuck Republicans. And it's like, no, the left needs to be like, we have a space for you too. And really, any thinking person with a brain who's also Christian would realize that, like the teachings would be left-leaning. Right? Like conservatism is like the opposite of Christian teachings, Yeah. And same with Islam in Palestine. The Jewish teachings would tell you to be not for Israel, because what Israel is now, maybe you might believe Israel as a country should exist to house Jewish people, but how they treat Palestine, that goes against the Jewish teachings. What they're doing is barbaric and just disgusting, and that goes against the Jewish teachings. So, and people will be like, shut the fuck up. It's called propaganda. Look it up sometime. You've been bamboozled.
Do I think Jewish people deserve their own state? Sure. Do I think they should oppress Palestinians?
No. It's
that simple.
It's that easy. Do I think they should be kicking Palestinian people out of these houses out of weird technicality because Israel owns the land? No.
But do I think Jews were treated horribly in the past?
Do I think that American Jewish people should move to Israel just to kick out Palestinian people? No, I don't think they should do that. And that's a really weird thing for you Americans to do. Yeah. And to claim that it's a part of your heritage, but you don't fucking live there. There's a great conversation between.
Yeah, it is a part of your heritage. But no, don't do that.
But it's part of their heritage too, literally.
I know.
What there's a great conversation where it's like a guy who lives in Israel and a guy who lives in Palestine, and he's like, "Where are your grandparents buried?" And he didn't know. And the Palestinian goes, "My grandparents are buried here, and my great-grandparents are buried here." Like, and when I say here, I mean Israel, Palestine. He's like, "This is where they're buried. It's buried, like, this is my home. This is where we've been for generation after generation after generation." Yeah. I understand that there was a history thousands of years ago with Israel, but that's just not the way. Two-state solution, sure. But, yeah.
But the way they did it, no.
The way they did it was a little fucked, but...
Yeah, shit.
But
I'm all right.
I think Palestinians are already like accepting of the two-state solution. It's just that Israel wants like really racist solution where they have like way more power than the Palestinians. They want a racist segregation.
I watched
country.
Vince Trio try to explain it, and he's like, and then so they try to come up with the two-state solutions, but the Palestinians just would not give up their land for it, and so then they immediately attacked Israel. It's like, well, Ben.
Yeah.
You do realize that it's actually Israel who wanted to like control their water and all the land.
They already do.
Where they live.
They control everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, why don't they want a two-state solution? It's like, because you guys are running them out of the country. What do you mean? And you guys keep framing it like they're the bad guys. It doesn't. You can't just say brown man bad anymore. People are too. We've been through this already. We don't care. And most Americans understand that 9/11 was bullshit and that, you know, we supplied the people of Afghanistan. Oh, yeah, I was just telling you about that the other day that I showed you that video where...
Yeah. I had no clue.
America was aiding Afghanistan before Russia was ever involved. I always thought America got involved with Afghanistan because of Russia.
Yeah, so did I.
But the reality is that America was actually helping Afghanistan to bait Russia into invading.
They were trying to provoke.
They were giving Russia fear that like Afghanistan would like do something. So
they were trying to provoke Russia so that America could attack Russia in a proxy war.
Yeah. And
steal all of and occupy Afghanistan.
Yeah, and then make Afghanistan allies with them by being like, "Oh, we helped you, Afghanistan. Now you have to be our friend."
But I always thought that
America I always thought the story went that
to help against Russia, and then
we gave Osama bin Laden weapons and taught him how to fight. And then we started destabilizing their economy, and then they said, "Hey, because we became friends with them, and then we told them to go fuck themselves."
Yeah.
And then they said, "Hey, now I fucking hate America." Like,
I mean, in the beginning, okay. So what I thought happened was America was okay in the beginning because they were fighting against imperialism from Russia, but then it was like, okay, then America became the imperialists and tried to destabilize Afghanistan, and the Afghans attacked America. That's what I always thought.
Yeah.
But really, it's just America's the bad guy, all the way through. I thought it was like good to bad.
Well, that's the thing we're learning. You know, I've told you before, like there's a lot of propaganda in American history. For those wondering,
this is all information from declassified government.
Yeah, the declassified government information is where we started really learning that America was aiding them before, because over like. After I don't remember how much time has to pass, but after a certain amount of time passes, the government information becomes declassified for the public because it has really no effect on anyone from the '60s when this all happened. So
and now Fox News is like, well, we got to get back into Afghan because that's going to be horrible. Or Fox News is like, the Taliban's are coming back.
We created the Taliban.
The Taliban's are coming back. They're going to attack us again. Well,
We've ruined their country so bad.
They have every right to attack us again. I'm not gonna lie, but it's
I'm not afraid of them coming over. I mean, I feel like America's military is. I feel like it's just such an excuse to go over there. I mean, we create terrorists just so we can go over there and occupy land. I mean, that's what we do.
Right. That's what we did.
We want to piss them off. We want to stir the.
And now that we're actually finally leaving, we might finally get peace.
Yeah.
In the Middle East, just let them do their fucking shit. Just fuck off.
Yeah. Well, that's why they can't let someone who's not part of the plan become president, because then that's gonna ruin everything they have going for them. And also, they'll get to see all the declassified. They can see all the classified, I should say, information about what we've been doing for the past few years, and past few decades, I should say.
The president can't. I don't know how it works, but if the president read classified information, he can't declassify it.
No, he can't. But he will know what's been going on, and he can make plans according. I think that's what happened with Obama because Obama was going to shut down Guantanamo and do all this stuff day one.
Yeah.
And then he kind of didn't do any of this. In fact, he just kind of did George Bush 2.0 and.
Yeah.
At least
because
when it came to foreign policy, he was George Bush 2.0. When it came to other stuff here, he was different. But foreign policy, he was George Bush.
Right, because the government was like, well, no, we have plans going on there.
Yeah,
we can't do that.
Like, here's our end goal, and then he was like, okay,
yeah,
okay, I will stick with the end goal. I like
which
the
I mean,
cut of your jib.
he could have ended it.
Oh yeah, he could have, but
yeah, I don't know how it works because, I mean, technically.
I think you.
I guess that would be treason to declassify classified information.
Yeah,
if the president were to do it.
I really don't know exactly
unless
how it works.
they pass an act that's like, we're gonna declassify everything.
Yeah, as long as they make it legal first, then they can pretty much do whatever they want. But I don't think you can do that with an executive order. I think you have to get that.
Right. Yeah.
We all have to be on board with something like that. So.
Yeah. Like no, it would have to go through Congress and the Senate. But I'm sure it could be done. I'm sure they'll
create an act or whatever. I don't know how it works.
Yeah. Because I mean, as long as because what they did with the UFOs is that's what they did. They said
they made an act. I thought it was just declassified.
It was it was in a bill.
Oh really?
Yeah. They said you have until June 1st or something to declassify all information we have about UFOs. So they could do that about all declassified information.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know why we have declassified. It's for Homeland Security, but
yeah, the UFO thing though that was sort of like we don't need to keep that classified. Certain things,
I guess there's
certain
sense, things that we don't want Russia and China knowing about.
That maybe we saw like a Chinese machine thing and when we called it a UFO because we don't know what the fuck it is. So.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, we don't know at all where it came from. It doesn't look like
in
any
other
technology.
Countries.
Yeah. It doesn't look like any technology from any country we've seen ever. So that's why
they think it's like thousands of years in the future of technology.
Yeah, because
compared to what we have.
They said the way it moved in the air is like supposed to be impossible or something like that. Like the way it moved was so
like realistically
unorthodox.
Realistically, America would have, if Russia had that technology, America would have that technology, and America would know about it.
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely that.
Well, and we knew
other countries have this technology and we don't.
We kind of knew
with the technology we have that we can make something that moves like this.
I know, but I think someone just made it because.
I don't think someone just made it.
I don't know.
I think you're simplifying this too much.
The idea that it was an alien to me is just.
I mean, it could.
It's just not. I just don't.
The thing is, we just don't know what it is.
I know.
And I'm saying it's very unlikely that another country has this technology that we don't know about.
Yeah. But
and it'd be very dumb of them to fly it over their American.
Right. I saw this footage. I saw this footage before this was declassified.
Yeah. Because it was leaked.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
But no one knew that it was real, and then the U.S. military was like, "Yeah, that's real."
That's
real, and we have no clue what it is.
When I last watched it, I think I was living with my parents.
It's this pill-shaped object.
Yeah,
that just
small.
hovers.
It's really small, right?
It hovers above the ocean and then zooms around really fast and just stops immediately.
That's so weird.
Which.
Yeah.
You're simplifying it too much, I think, in your head.
Well, I remember seeing like it flying around with like the plane following it.
Yeah.
I don't remember it zooming over an ocean.
Well, it's in like a weird.
Right.
It's kind of hard to make out, but that's what it's doing.
Okay.
And that's what the pilot's saying. Like, why is it just? What the fuck is this?
What?
It's just like hovering there, and then it's like And if this was another country, why would they fly it in U.S. territory and show it off to us if they're trying to keep it secret?
Yeah.
Because then we would just.
Well, that's why I think it was just like a guy's project, but.
I don't think it was a guy's project.
But it was like a perfect project
that cost billions of dollars.
I don't.
And why wouldn't we know what it is?
Exactly. Yeah. Well.
Because we have better technology and better weapons than most countries.
And like the country can develop stuff in top secret, but I don't think they would develop something like.
They would, and then show it off like that.
Right. If it's a top secret thing, they wouldn't have it out. Like that. It would be like.
It'd be
never leaving the base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flown only at night.
Right.
in restricted airspace.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the mountains.
But I really think it's a guy's project.
I highly doubt
That's
it.
the only explanation.
There's another explanation.
Well, I think if we got a better shot of it, we would understand how it moves and stuff. But
I mean, it's an okay shot.
Yeah. But we didn't see it from all angles, and we didn't get close enough to it.
We got enough to know. It's enough to know where these people are like, we don't know what it is.
I know. No one knows.
You really think some guy just made this in his backyard?
It's literally more likely than an alien.
You really think that's more... I've seen the video of it, but...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well...
only a little bit of it.
We'll say goodbye, and then if we have
goodbye.
more to come back to, if we want to keep talking after we watch this stuff, we'll do like a quick little wrap up. But let's just say goodbye now.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with Jer, maybe Dakota too.
Hopefully, yeah. All right. Goodbye. Okay. We watched. At first, we watched just like some bullshit.
Videos of it. Yeah.
But
but
then we watched a 60 minutes like conversation, like what the show 60
mini
minutes.
doc. Yeah, it was like a mini doc where they were talking to the actual pilots that were in the aircrafts.
That's more important.
Saw it and recorded it.
That's
yeah,
way more important than whatever videos.
Yeah,
because
getting those actual first-hand encounters and stories.
Watching the video, you just like it really is like, what the fuck am I even looking at?
Right, but then you hear them talking about it and explaining it, and you're like, what the fuck? So you still think some guy could have made it?
Actually, I think you're probably gonna be mad, but I think that the most logical explanation, if we say aliens couldn't possibly have done it, then I would say the most likely explanation is it is something like Russia or something. Because I don't think they stated that it was impossible. However, the idea that another country, whether it be Russia or anyone, would just be doing this is
for
really
so
strange.
long.
Because yes, so the context that we didn't know about and why watching the 60 Minutes was important was because multiple of these guys who would fly these planes for the US, they were like, we would see these all the time. Like they would see them
for years,
day after day, and then
for years,
yeah, and then like
day after day for years.
They're like, oh, we found new pictures of these objects in 2019. Like, they're taking new pictures of these objects in 2019, and they're always in the same area. They're always in like this coast. They're always in the same area, and we don't see them anywhere else in America, and no one knows what these are. And it's like, what are these things, right? And so that context changes the entire conversation, because now it's like, if it is the Russians or anyone else, any country, if it's the Canadians, why are they in the same spot for years? Why do we see them day after day? And the thing is that one of them claimed it definitely was reacting to them, because it would speed away whenever it was too close to it and watching for too long. It would like speed away, and then they'd have to find it again later.
Well, so he described that he was going down in a spiral towards it.
Yeah.
And it started coming up to him in a spiral.
Yeah, it was.
And once it got
spiral.
in front of him, it was just gone.
Yeah.
And then they found it seconds later, 60 miles away.
Yeah, it super turbo sped away. Yeah. So I understand the idea that the technology is super advanced because of how fast it went, which is ridiculous.
And it was just hovering above the water.
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
his
it was
description
way lower
of
towards
it,
the water. Yeah.
It was just hovering there, and he started moving down towards it, and then it's sped away.
Yeah.
And the description of it had no wings, no propulsion,
and
no exhaust.
No exhaust. Yeah. And in the other clip, not that one, because it could have been a different ship, but again, it's another. What the fuck is this? And we keep seeing these things, and apparently there's either multiple or just stays there all the time. Apparently, it would like rotate in air, like that's insane. It would just like, what the fuck?
It just spun around.
Yeah, it was like spinning around. Like, what is going on with this thing?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, whatever it is. Well, the thing is that if it knows that we're watching it, then I doubt it would still be out there where we keep contacting it
years after
over
years.
and over. I highly doubt that it's from another country then. So it is this weird thing where it's like, what is this fucking thing, and why does it keep flying away every time we get close to it? Like what? Because we can't.
Well, I mean, it does. It obviously knows that we're observing it. It
Yeah.
doesn't fly away all the time. I mean, it went 60 miles away, but we still saw it.
Yeah. Well, and apparently we couldn't even see these things until we had the proper technology, and we have to use infrared camera. And
Yeah.
So we have to like lock on
infrared tracking.
So now we can lock onto it, but it's moving really fast. So what the pilots were saying, because that's why this was so important, because the pilots were giving their their anecdotal stories about it, and they're like, yeah, this thing's more advanced than what we're flying. Like,
yeah.
And
the one guy who worked like really high up and had access to all this classified information said it's nothing the U.S. is doing.
Yeah, some people in our government are just worried it's a national security threat. Some people are. The one guy who really wanted to break the story was like, there's no explanation at all whatsoever. So he's thinking it might possibly be like an alien or something.
At least a huge national security threat.
Right. A lot of people are thinking it's a national security threat. And I mean, to me...
But it's like, I mean, he kind of proved with beyond, like, at least to his best knowledge,
right,
which he has a lot of credibility and a lot of resources and citations, that it's nothing the U.S. is involved in.
Right. And it could be...
knows about.
I still think it could be just something out of nowhere, something completely weird and random that makes sense once we find out. But, yeah, I mean... We gotta do something because whatever these things are, clearly they're not a threat when it comes to like actually causing harm to us. But if they're spying on us, then maybe it's
or
a
if
threat.
they decide to be a threat,
well,
then we have no realistic way of stopping them.
Yeah,
because our jets cannot keep up with them whatsoever at all.
Yeah, so whatever these things are, it's like all we know is that we can see them. And we can't do anything else about it, pretty much.
Yeah.
We can barely track them and keep up with them. So we don't have any like good, clear shots of what the fuck it is. So really we need to just focus on like camera technology and lenses and stuff like that to make sure we can like catch it at high speeds or something. I don't know. And zoom in that hard.
So you were skeptical before. Are you as skeptical after watching that?
Well, the thing is, I'm not really any more inclined to believe it's an alien.
Yeah.
But I am like, I don't have.
But you were.
I was thinking it could have been. I was thinking it was less likely from another country because it was like I thought it was like somewhere in the desert. I didn't realize it was like over the coast of the ocean.
Yeah, it was in the ocean.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like in the coast of America.
Like miles out where they had to have a aircraft carrier.
Yeah. So
if there's an aircraft carrier, that means...
So it's more likely now that it's from
and it's the same
country.
size as a fighter jet, roughly.
Yeah. So it is likely that it is... Well, the thing is, at this point, while I'm not exactly jumping to aliens, I have literally no explanation of what it could possibly be. And all the experts who... are there are like, yeah, we just have no fucking clue. So it's just like I just wish.
But earlier,
find something.
Earlier, you were very apprehensive and quickly dismissed aliens. Now, are you?
I'm still dismissing aliens, but the thing.
Are you less apprehensive about that idea?
Well, it's not that I think aliens aren't real. It's not that I don't think aliens aren't out there.
Yeah.
It's just that even with this explanation of why would they be doing? It's like this action of what they're doing. Of what these like aircrafts are doing makes no sense to me. And
why would they?
Why are they always over this coast?
What's the purpose?
Why don't we spot them anywhere else? Why do we only spot them at this coast? And why are they always there? And why do we see them daily for years? You know? So it's like this doesn't make sense. And so you have to think about it. If it's intelligent life form and they have created a ship that can... So we're talking it has to come through Earth's atmosphere and stuff. Like, we're talking, like, a lot of steps to get here. And then they're just, like, flying around this coast like bugs. Like, they're flies. They're just flying. Like, what the fuck is the
purpose of that?
The explanation is unfathomable. Like,
literally,
it's
the only way to
the most likely explanation, in my opinion, is that this is like a weird experimental ship from another country that's on autopilot, that's lost its circuitry and it's going fucking KY and it's just flying around. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, what the fuck's going on here? But that's also like, but that's why.
But again, why would they only spy in that one spot?
That's why
if it's another country.
No, but that's why the way it's moving and the reason it's only in that one spot, I have to assume like it's not a human piloting it. It's because, and if it is a human piloting it, they're not making any sense because this is not like there is no logical explanation for why it's only in this one spot for years. But why it still decides to fly away from everything as if it's an animal.
And you got to think, if it is from another country,
I think it can.
What fuel source are they using?
I think the Russians put a dog in a spaceship, and the dog is piloting the spaceship.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean,
you're right. No, because why is it still floating around for years?
Right. It would have to go. Well, I guess it wouldn't be.
Where the fuck would it?
If it's going 60 miles in a couple of seconds, then I guess it could go to Russia or whatever country and refuel and be back within like an hour, within the hour.
Yeah, if it can fly that fast, but
and that's not even top speed.
But then why always the coast?
I don't know.
Because it seems like it's flying out there for a while and it can speed up and slow down. So I don't know if it's not
and hover.
It's not only in the coast for.
I think you're hovering without propellers or anything.
It's hard to make out in the video. That's why, like, to me, I don't.
But the pilot description of it.
Well, like it moves fast, so like they were following it while it was moving. It wasn't sitting still. Like they were moving with it.
No, it was sitting at the bottom, and he was spiraling towards it while it was hovering above the ocean.
Well, I don't think it was sitting still though. I think it was flying fast, and then it started going faster to speed away. And it wasn't like sitting still. They were following it because they can't see it without it moving fast. Like they couldn't see it until they got the cameras that could pick up moving fast.
I'm not sure.
I thought the way I understood it was that it wasn't hovering.
The way I thought it was is it was hovering. It was like pointing in a certain direction, just hovering there.
Yeah. And
he started to spiral down towards it to get a better look, and it just flipped around and looked at him.
Yeah.
Like instantly, just turned around and started spiraling up towards him. That's the way I took it.
Well, I don't know. In the
video, but even if it was moving fast and not hovering, the way it could just flip around like that, the way they described it, just flipping
it just
around,
turned around and then sped off in the other direction or something. Yeah,
is impossible.
Yeah,
for us to do.
Yeah, so we don't know what the hell that is and how it works or why it moves that way and why it's so fast and so how there's no fumes coming out of it and how it has no propeller and how it has no wings and.
Yeah,
because we can make out the basic shape, and if it had wings, you'd
be able to tell.
Yeah, because it looks like a disc or something. Like it literally looks.
It looks like a pill shape.
Yeah,
at least like in the video of it, it looked like a little.
Yeah,
pill.
Yeah. It doesn't look like
any modern technology.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a thing with wings. Like honestly, the one where it was like hovering, where it took off the other way, it looked kind of like a paper airplane or something. It had like a little pointed shape towards. Like a tip or something, but the other ones we saw where we saw it rotating, it straight up looked like a pill or like a disc or something.
Yeah,
it was really weird.
But maybe it's just that I really want aliens to exist and for them to be on Earth because I think that's really cool.
It would change literally everything.
Yeah, I really.
And
maybe it's just because I really want there to be aliens on Earth that I want this. That I'm more inclined to be like, this is aliens. But I do think there's a possibility. There's more of a chance for it to be
the possibility is there because we literally can't explain any of this,
and I just don't believe that it could be another country without us knowing about it. That's where I'm stuck.
My only thing is like again they would have to come past all like the technology. It's just weird for them to only be in that one area. It's my whole thing.
Even for us to not know about it.
Yeah. We can't even figure out. Yeah, we can't figure out what the fuck it is. We can't get close enough, and we can't even see what the hell it looks like.
The U.S. and Russia are constantly spying on each other,
right?
And we're spying on China and Russia all the time.
It makes sense to think we have like inside men in Russia who could possibly.
Yes. So why wouldn't we already know about it?
Right.
I just don't
Well, apparently a lot of why this is all going on is to set up a department where we can learn more about this stuff. So maybe in our lifetimes we will see what the fuck this thing is.
Hopefully.
I feel like
if next couple of years,
to be honest, I feel like if it
a more clear answer.
I feel like if it was an alien, it makes sense for aliens to not want to interact with us. But again,
and it makes sense for them to observe us.
Yeah, all that makes sense. But again, like,
but
it's the same
if
thing.
It was another
it's the same
country,
thing when I talk about Russia, that like once they know that we're interacting with it, then why wouldn't it just fuck off and leave us alone? You know, like it's like because obviously we know about it. We know about it. Like obviously,
like if they're trying to secretly spy on us,
it's not. Yeah, it's not going.
Why would it come back?
Right, and it's been around for years. Apparently, that's the thing. We weren't talking about that, but that's the thing that to me changed the entire conversation was
it being there for years.
The fact that it's been there forever and we just keep coming back to it and we keep seeing it and we keep interacting with it.
And
it makes me think,
you got to think,
is there more than one? Is it only one? Like what the fuck's going on here? If it's more than one, then I'm like team alien. If there's like, if we can verify there's like multiple out there, then
I think there are.
It seems like there's more because like this is crazy. This whole concept is just bizarre.
I could see why an alien would not want to interact with us completely, but would still let us see them, just to be like, "Hey, we're here. We're watching."
Maybe. Well, like I understand the possibility of them. Maybe like obviously, I don't think they watch our TV. Yeah. I don't think they go on our websites. I don't think they have any clue that we have leaked this to the public. And I think they're probably thinking, like, the way they probably perceive us is probably something like, oh, they're not worried about us, or something like that.
Yeah.
That would make some sense. But, again...
Or they're just like, they just think we're fun.
Why only this area?
Fun to kind of fuck around with.
Are they afraid to... are they afraid to travel further? Like
maybe it's just because they know that there's always jets there, and they want to fly with the jets. Just to have fun. It could be. It could, like that could be the reason. We don't know.
You ever watch an Aqua Teen Hunger Force? They always have aliens come down, and one alien is like, it's voiced by Patton Oswalt, and they're like these two frat boy aliens.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Don't mess with me, dude. My dad owns a dealership, okay?" And so like they always like fuck around with the characters in Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and they're just like drunk college kids. They're like, okay, we were sent here to Earth to collect women's panties. It's part of our hazing project. Do you think that the aliens are just like teenagers and they're just fucking with them?
At this point,
it would make more sense than a lot of
other reasons.
Well, because my whole thing is that while I do think it's likely that we wouldn't understand, like we wouldn't comprehend what another species would want to gain from doing something like this, like could have nothing to do with spying or observing. Could be the way they communicate is more like dolphins or something. Like the possibilities of the aliens, just like we have no.
What if the thing?
Aliens don't have to be humanoid even.
What if
it
the
could
ship
just be a ball of slime?
That's what I'm saying. What if it's not even a ship? That is just the alien.
Yeah. What if the whole alien itself is just this metallic creature thing? I'm saying.
What if it's not even metallic?
Yeah. Like it could be anything, right? It could, but I'm saying like, what if it's like this solid form, whatever?
Right. But it's like, just having fun with us.
But like
it's like when dogs go play with a dolphin. The dolphins are much more intelligent than dogs, and they swim around with the dogs.
Unfathomable things and think like we're talking about literally things that we cannot understand because we're limited. But that's when I'm like, man, you can really travel from so far away, come into the Earth's atmosphere, and this is what you choose to do. That's when I'm like, what the fuck? I cannot understand.
This might not be like all they're doing. This is just what we've seen.
Yeah. But like it's not like we just stop looking at certain times of the day, you know. That's what I'm saying. Like how have we only found them here, and how can we keep consistently finding them here but we don't find them anywhere else in America? That's crazy to me.
I mean, they didn't say. Did they say that they only find them there?
If Russia comes out after this gets a bigger deal, and Russia comes out and says, "Hey, we've seen similar things," then I'm gonna be like, "The fuck's going on?"
Wait, did they say that it only happens in that one area?
That's where that's the only place they've declassified that they've seen them. They've only seen them, but they keep seeing them in this area over and over.
Right.
But we don't know if they've seen them anywhere else. But like, why? How would they not have seen them? You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, it could be just like
It's not like we only fly over
Again, we
the coast
don't
or
know
whatever.
what this thing is and what it's thinking.
Right.
So it
No,
could be the only area that they let us see them.
I understand.
And it could be that they're flying all over the place at, near light speed and we can't even fucking pick them up. But I mean, okay.
No,
and we don't even know how fast.
But like, I'm assuming that we have the technology in our other like fighters. I'm assuming that like other airfields have similar planes that were flying around on the coast. To see these ships.
But if I'm certain with the technology that we've seen, if they don't want to be seen, they don't have to be.
Right.
Because again, we don't know exactly how fast it can move.
Do you think that there's actually a shit ton of these, and they all have cloaking devices, and this one's cloaking device broke, and no one has told the guy in the side that it broke?
No.
And so he's just like, oh, fuck. It's getting close to me, but not like he sees me or anything. So he's just
really
fucking
funny.
around.
That'd be really funny.
But all
But
the
I
other
don't
alien
think...
ships have cloaking devices, so we can't see them?
Yeah. I don't think that's it. But,
It's just weird that it's
I
only
know,
this one area.
I know,
That's what trips me up. And the fact that
And-
it's been there for years, that's fucking insane.
I don't think it's only one, too. I think there are other ones. But, like, other ships, too, or whatever.
It is
But it's like...
quite unexplainable.
We don't even know how fast it can, like its maximum speeds, because sure it moved 60 miles in a couple of seconds, but who knows if that's really the top speed it can go.
Right.
So I mean, thinking of
We're
how
talking a couple seconds. What if they kept going? Yeah.
and what
But,
if it
Clearly, it wants to be in this. There's something in this area that's tripping it up. Because
right and
what's about this area that it wants?
and it probably didn't even go like full speed to get there. It probably just
Right.
like went, I'm over here now. So it's if it has the technology to go that fast, then it's not unreasonable to think that it could come from another planet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. If it can move that fast and we don't know how fast exactly it can go, there's a chance it can go very, very fast.
Okay, Google's over there for some reason.
It's listening. It's listening.
I have Google and I have Alexa, and Google talks to me way more.
I don't have an answer for that.
If you talk about Alexa to Google, then Alexa, or not Alexa, but Google will be like, "That's not my name, but I'm flattered." Blah blah blah. It's like, shut up.
Who is that bitch?
Yeah. So yeah, now my Google and my Alexa are talking because I.
You ever put them next to each other
Google said we should
and
all
let
hang
them
out
have a
sometime.
conversation?
I don't know. It's weird. Their voices are slightly different. I also have Cortana on my PC, but I always uninstall it because I'm like, I don't want to talk to Cortana, so I never have Cortana up. But every Windows
ever,
computer can use Cortana too. So.
Do you ever put the Google and the Alexa together and have them like talk to each other?
No, I don't think they'd like that. Well, it seems like the Google one's more aware than Alexa. Alexa doesn't seem aware at all.
Yeah.
But it is annoying when you're just like chilling and then you hear it from. It's always the fucking Google one. You hear it from the other room and it's like no one said anything close to Google, and it's
Because it's always listening.
yeah. I thought I was talking the same right when you said it's always listening, but I think
They're always on.
No, I know. But
They're-
it just doesn't send.
It doesn't actually turn off after you say it. It just says it's listening.
Yeah, it's waiting for you to say its name again. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't like that.
Well, and the PS5 controller has a microphone built in too. So.
I don't like it.
But from what we understand, it doesn't send info back. It's just waiting for you to say something. But there's no evidence that it sends information back, and
But there's no evidence that it doesn't.
once the story breaks, then all these companies are being sued
I thought it
out
has.
the ass
I thought they have gotten in trouble for that.
for sending information back.
Yeah.
No, Google got busted for their email stuff, like collecting data on you, and like collecting your search history and stuff. But as far as like these new devices, that's why people are sus though, because it's not because all of these companies have sold info before. Every company that collects info sells info, And so, like, that's why people are really sus. And I don't blame them. And honestly...
I'm sus, too.
But
I don't trust them.
But the difference is that when I search something on Amazon and then I get ads for that thing on other websites, then I go, okay, makes sense. When I tweet about something and then I get ads for that thing, I go, okay, yes, because you're selling my information. But I never get it to where an ad pops up because I'm talking next to an Alexa or something, which people say that happens. I call foul. I call bullshit.
I've had that happen.
Where you just talk about something out loud and then you can add targeting
my phone. Yeah.
What?
Swear to God.
What was the? Do you remember the example?
I don't remember,
okay.
But I do remember. There's been multiple occasions where I'm like, I was literally just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swear to God.
I think it's just a phenomenon we come up with in our minds.
But it's very like.
It's eerie, but it's
I mean,
not...
it'll be like I'm talking about fucking a weird game, and then or like something obscure, and then I'll get ads for it, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not something that it would usually show me.
I know. To me, I'm very aware of it, and it's only specifically whenever I talk about something on a social media platform or when I'm searching something on Amazon. If I search for something on Amazon, I will get ads for it on like every website, and I'm like, and the reason why is because of cookies. Because
I still get ads for gaming chairs after I bought one.
Yeah, no, it's because of the cookies. It's because whenever you go to a website, it looks at your recent history, and so if you have that Amazon history, it's just gonna keep cycling, and yeah, it's because of cookies. And a lot of websites, like that's when you go to like a website with articles, they're like, we allow cookies, yes, because then they're going to target ads on the sites based off of what you have been searching and talking about, basically.
Yeah.
And it's kind of bullshit, but and it slows down your computer, but you know, whatever. If you, I have ad blocker. Most people have ad blocker. It's a Google Chrome extension, and most people use ad blocker. I
thought ad blocker was. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be illegal, but I don't know.
What?
Ad blocker.
It's not illegal.
Okay.
It's perfectly legal.
I thought some companies were fighting for it to be outlawed.
Ad block?
Yeah.
I don't think
makes
so.
sense for them to fight against it.
Well, just doesn't go. It doesn't infringe on any. No, it's.
But it would make sense for companies to be like, I fucking hate it. Ad block. I want it to be illegal.
I understand. It makes sense. Well, what happens is articles will have a thing that says, "You're using ad blocker. We can tell. Please turn it off." And sometimes they'll be nice and say, "Will you please consider turning off ad blocker so we can make revenue?" And then other websites say, "You cannot read this article. You cannot watch this video until you turn off ad block." YouTube lets you do it. I have ad block mostly for YouTube, so. But also, ad block is good because if you're on
Does it block all the ads on YouTube? Like all the video ads?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And it blocks ads on that you would see on the sides. It blocks ads on Twitter. My experience on PC is very different from my experience on console and phone. Like,
speaking of console, we never talked about this, but EA wants to put ads in their video games.
Yeah. It's kind of horse apples.
Yeah, they want to make it like mobile game ads.
Yeah, in their paid for $60 games.
Yeah,
I just played 2K, which is it's like 2K is like, we want to be like Amazon and not Amazon. We want to be like EA and Activision. We want to be shitty to the consumer, and so 2K released this wrestling game that's free on Plus right now, the Battlegrounds, and I was like, oh, it's like the weird, goofy wrestling game with like crazy physics. That's what I was thinking. No, it's not. It does have crazy physics, but you start out with like 20 wrestlers out of like 100, and it's a gacha game, and it's like a full price game you pay for. It's free on Plus right now, but it's not supposed to be a free game. But it has a free to play model where you have to unlock characters by like doing gacha stuff.
I hate that.
And I'm like, I don't know how much it costs, but I'm pretty sure it's probably either 60 or 40 at least. But I'm like, you cannot make these games have gacha elements. I'm sorry.
It's like, okay.
That has to be free to play only.
It's different when Smash does it with their characters.
When a game does it where it's like you have a season pass and you buy the characters, Well, and it depends on the game.
Well, I'm not even talking DLC. When you buy Smash, you don't get all the characters. You have to unlock them.
Oh, you're talking about secret
But
characters.
you can't buy them.
No. And
Whereas these gacha games encourage you to buy them and make it very hard to unlock new characters.
Most games don't even do secret content anymore because they just have DLC. But every so often, a game will have, like, if you beat the game, you unlock a thing. Or if it's a fighting game, like, if you beat this mode, whatever, you unlock a character every time you do it. Like, that's how Smash does it. It's like, if you do this, you unlock a character. And, like, this idea that, like, you have to unlock characters by rolling, like gambling, and that you could possibly lose and get nothing after all this time working on it. Oh, but you can pay money to roll. You can pay real life money, which the game has. You can pay real life money to roll to get the character. You still might not get the character. In a free-to-play game, that's acceptable.
But in a
game you pay $60 for,
right?
That's
is like
robbery.
all EA games,
right? And well, that's the thing. It makes money, so they're trying to put it. And it's
okay when Fortnite
it starts with the sports games, because the sports games, they do this online roster where you get like cards, and the cards let you use the actual players. And so you want to roll, and so you have like a bunch of good players on your team. This is really fucking dumb because these are yearly games where every year they make a new one. So not only are you rolling every year to build your team, but you have to buy a new game every year to then roll again for these fucking characters every fucking time. Yeah, that's
like all the 2K games.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
whenever
such
like
trash.
Whenever like Warzone, which is a free game, or Fortnite, which is a free game, does it, they don't do rolling. If you want to buy a skin,
you just buy it.
You buy it, you pay the money, and you get the skin you wanted.
Yeah.
Or you get the battle pass, and there's skins you can unlock for free.
The way Overwatch would do it was you would roll, and then you would get the skins, and then if you get a duplicate, you got gold. And if you saved up the gold from getting duplicates, which you will get more and more gold the more skins you unlock, then you can just buy specific skins you want. So there's either you might get the thing you want, or you just eventually buy it. And if you were like me and you played the game all the time, I had every skin I wanted. Because I'd literally either get it, just playing the game, or I would just go, I really want this one, I'm going to buy it now. And if you got like a duplicate of like a legendary skin, you would get a lot of gold. And sometimes rolling, you would just get a bunch of gold, but it's not, you didn't get a duplicate, it's just, you just got gold for rolling this time. So like, and even fighting game, even Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear does this thing where if you roll for colors, and then after I have every color unlocked in Dragon Ball FighterZ, so I just keep getting the currency. And so as soon as there's new content, I got all the currency, like I just get what I want.
Okay. There's a way to do it to where it's fun to unlock.
Exactly.
There's a way to put it where you can put skins and different characters in and make it fun and entertaining to unlock them, and make it actually so that people want to play your game in order to unlock them.
Yeah.
And then there's a way like 2K does it where it's straight up gambling. And
if you have to pay real money for the currency, it's usually a red flag.
Unless it's something like Fortnite.
And well, yeah, because Fortnite's free.
Free, and you know exactly what you're getting.
It's free, and we're talking about skins, and and it's not gambling. You're not rolling for a skin randomly. You're just actually buying the one you want. And for a free game, that's not bad at all. It's just, buying the costume. Because especially with Fortnite, they have all the crossovers. So you're buying the game. You're buying the costume for the character you really like. You're buying Chun-Li with her big fucking ass. And that was a meme for a while. Big ass Chun-Li. But yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah. A lot of my friends who didn't play Street Fighter bought that skin. Because it was ridiculous. What did they do to my girl? I'm not complaining though. Yeah. My girl. Okay. I have to edit this down to make this an hour, so okay. I'm probably gonna really cut down that original conversation about aliens.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because the new conversation is what's really important. But anyway, alright, let's end this one.
Oh yeah. Bye for real this time. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Nope.